One-on-one with Larry Woodcock. Larry, here we are. Trial is it is underway, but jury
Yes.
selection is just right there at the finish line. You seem very calm. You seem very relaxed more than I've seen you before. I really thought when I saw you were going to be real fired up because a lot of things have transpired this week, but we got a decision today that you will be in the courtroom as long as there's no testimony, or if you're done with your testimony, there's some stipulations. Just how are you feeling right now?
As you just said, for the first time in weeks, I truly am relaxed. Uh, the biggest single issue we had, obviously, is that were we going to be allowed in the court? Last night, before I went to sleep, I prayed for at least an hour. And I prayed for the wisdom of the court, the wisdom of the judge, for protection of everybody. And I asked for some peace. I woke up this morning and I am as relaxed as I've been in quite a while. And I feel like that there's a curve for righteousness in the judicial system, and I feel like that we're past that curve, and we're heading into the court system. We're heading into this trial, and I truly feel relaxed. I'm happy to be here, and I'm certainly happy to be interviewed by you as our first interview here in Idaho. We have been friends for a long time now, and I respect you and what you've done and helped us with in this journey we've been on.
That truly means a lot. Thank you, Larry. I mean, in this past 3 years, this wild case, just in court alone, there have been so many obstacles, roadblocks, competency. So definitely, what stands out to you from this journey?
Patience. I told Kay on numerous occasions, Kay, this is a marathon, and we're willing to run that marathon, and that's exactly what it's been. Have we had our ups and downs? Oh, absolutely. You're as aware of the issues with this court as we are, and we've been fortunate enough that we have lived through this, and I think we've had health issues, both Kay and I, and we've lived through them, and our patience have paid off, and I truly look forward to being in the court. I'm so happy that the court has allowed us to do this, and I think that we're prepared. I know we're prepared. I know I'm prepared.
I have been sitting through jury selection all week and hearing the same questions asked, and very important questions. One of them, prosecutors ask potential jurors, how will you react to circumstantial evidence? There's going to be a lot of circumstantial evidence in this case. Do you feel that will be enough for conviction?
I truly do. I truly believe that when all the evidence is heard, I truly believe in my heart that no juror is not going to convict her.
Charles was the only one to really go to the police, like you just said, that example of saying, it's on the record, something is wrong here, we need help.
Correct. And I have been so very disappointed in the way that Chandler police initially handled this. Now, they were very gracious to us. They brought us in immediately, And as anything in life, you don't learn the details until further down the road.
We've got a lot of details from them now.
And
Thousands of pages.
Absolutely. And there's no reason for that to have happened. And it all starts with that circle, that inner circle.
When you get into the main courtroom and you're able to see whatever vantage point of Lori you can, is there anything you're looking for? Are you looking for remorse throughout this trial? Any morsel of that?
Yes. And I can tell you now that Lori's a wannabe actress. And I see things that she does, the little things. I'm a very intuitive person. I pay attention to the details. I listen loud. And the one thing that I've seen Lori is she has yet to shed a single tear in anything we've been involved in. I've never even seen her show emotions in anything we've seen. But I've seen Lori promote herself. And for that, I'm looking for the differences in that and when we go into a court. If she starts this sobbing and I'm so sorry, and I mean any emotions where she's seeking forgiveness, where she's seeking release, where she's seeking something that says, "Oh, you're not guilty," that's fake. That's put on.
In day 3, we got to see a little bit of emotion, or we weren't sure though. We have a sketch artist, right? We don't have a camera right on her dabbing the tissue to her eye. You say that she's an actor. Do you think these moments will be set up by her and strategized throughout the trial for sympathy?
Yes. Laura's an extremely attractive young lady, and she knows how to play. She knows how to play to the camera. She knows how to play to people. That's the reason everybody loves Lori immediately. Because she's a narcissist.
Did you ever sense anything like that when you first met her throughout the years?
Not when we first met her. But like I told you just a minute ago, I listen loud and I watch deep. And by 2017, I knew there was something not right. I told Kay that.
2017, that's
2017. And Kay will tell you that. I told her there's something not right.
Was it a lack of emotion? Was something aloof about her?
It was the package. When family members die and you're married to Charles and you don't even bother coming, and that's just one. You don't even bother showing up for the funeral. You don't send flowers. You don't pick up the phone and call, "Hey Kay, I'm sorry for your mom's loss. The loss of your mom." That just kind of puts the dot on the I for me. But it was numerous things over the years. I just saw Lori playing to everybody. Now, I like Lori. I'm not going to say any difference. But as far as her pulling the wool over my eyes, that never happened.
What did you think of her as a mother to JJ in the early years?
She was a good mother. She truly was. She loved JJ. And when Charles said that she couldn't stand JJ anymore, I think that was the synopsis of it, that she didn't want to be around him, or she didn't want to take care of him anymore.
Do you think she felt he had become a burden when she was, going to these preparing people conferences and doing the podcast and these interests that she had taken, really get into it, and these new friends, she felt that he was in the way?
Absolutely. JJ was a wonderful, brilliant child. He had the energy of 3 people. He never met a stranger. Everyone loved him. And he was but you had to be there. You could never allow him to open a door on a vehicle because he was gone. I mean, he didn't know where he was running to, but he wanted to be there. He was a little bit different, but the commonality with JJ is that he loved everybody, and JJ was going to be JJ, and so he was somewhat of a hard little man to take care of. He was not a normal child in the fact that you could say, you raise him and say, this is hot, and you know you can't go out the door. It didn't make any difference to JJ. He was JJ, and I look at JJ. Not only did I love him, I seen a lot of myself in him. I can't stand to take no, because I'm gonna keep going until, not that I get yes, but that I understand why somebody's saying no. And I wake up early, I go to bed late. And I try to be the first one to work and the last one to leave. I'm the guy that's going to be at the office on Sundays when nobody else is there. If I have to go out in the warehouse and clean up, if I have to go wash a bus or whatever I was doing.
Seems like you look up to JJ. You say
did.
you saw yourself in him. Maybe your younger self. He's authentically him.
He is.
All the time.
He is. And I did see a lot of him in myself. It's just like an instance. I love being on tractors. I love being on anything that's got wheels, tracks, or floats, or flies. I've had my own airplanes. So, I mean, and he was like that. Papa, let's go on the tractor. Papa, let's go ride the four-wheelers. Let's go, we'd go mow the yard. He wanted to be right there with me.
Made you feel alive.
Oh.
Doing that with him.
Oh. And look, I've got 16 grandchildren. I've got 8 great-grandchildren. And any one of them today that chooses to ask me that, I'm the first one to go out there and get a lawnmower and let's just go ride around, or let's go get the tractor. I got 2 tractors. Let's go get on the tractors. You want to get on the side by side? You want to get on the four-wheeler? Come on, let's go. I'm all for it. And so my grandchildren know I am the rotten pawpaw, and my kids know that I am the rotten pawpaw.
As we get into this testimony and evidence presented by the state, I asked you this before, but really now it's closer. It's preparing yourself, because prosecutors and the defense, they've said that there's going to be some hard things to see. They've really made that clear to the jurors. And for you, I just want to know, how do you, when that happens, that's got to be something to brace for.
People show emotions in so many different ways. Kay holds her emotion. You don't see Kay cry. Very seldom. In fact, you may have never seen her cry.
Just once, I think. Just okay. Once, yeah.
You've seen me cry many times. Mm-hmm. That is how I deal with that problem. I cry, and then, okay, that's over with. Let's go to work.
So there's going to be some tears. This is going to be an emotional roller coaster for sure.
It is. And am I prepared for it? Yes, we've gone through it. We've seen some of it, a small bit of it. You saw me cry in court. Mm-hmm. when they started showing the pictures of JJ, and I can't help it. I'm not afraid to cry. I'm not afraid to show my emotion. But on the other hand, I can show that emotion, or I can get right in the middle of a brawl. It doesn't make me any difference. I have seen enough death in my lifetime. Death is death. We're all going to die. I've seen the worst. And I know how to deal with that. But how I deal with it is probably different from other people. I let it come out. And then in a minute or two, it's over with. Let's go. I'm ready to go.
Brandon Boudreau had to identify JJ, correct? That was huge. And just tell me about that time if you can. Really, that was the beginning of a lot. I mean, that was June 2020. And I've seen a moment between you and Brandon that you shared. How much do you cherish this guy?
Brandon can be in my house and break bread with me anytime. I consider Brandon one of mine, and I have so much respect for him. I have so much love for he and his family. They're just wonderful people. And I was so sick. I was so sick the day that they wanted me to identify JJ. And I wanted to go. I mean, I was, even as sick as I was going. Brandon walked in the door, and when he heard, he said, "No, you're not going, I'm going." And I told him that, "Brandon, you don't know what you're going to see. Let me go do it. I've seen that." And he said, "No, I'll take care of this." And Brandon had his calling to come do this. Brandon was in, I think, Salt Lake City. And I think they drove however much time it takes to get there, nonstop to get there. And when he walked in the door, I truly had a sense of peace. But I wanted to protect Brandon from seeing what you can't unsee sometimes. But he did it. I'm eternally grateful to Brandon and his family.
And when he did that, I'm sure you got the sense after that he had seen something you can't unsee.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's so much I've seen that I can't unsee, and I understand it. And I truly didn't want Brandon to see that. He's young. He's got a fantastic family. His kids are so dear to us. And I didn't want him to see that. I couldn't even stand up.
What would happen if he was shot in Gilbert? What do you think that would do to the investigation? Obviously, you and Kay were calling for the welfare check, but I don't think a lot of people know about you guys as a team, you three, and talking to Gilbert PD,
Right.
Idaho authorities. Tammy had died.
We knew the facts. We knew what was going on. I think that the mishaps that occurred pertaining to Alex was beyond our control. I think the good Lord was protecting us. You can't take a pistol and pull the trigger twice and it doesn't fire. You can't take a shot at somebody and miss them by an inch or 2 inches, whatever it was. It was very extremely close. And supposedly we had heard that Alex was this marksman, and look, I've been a shooter all my life. I've been everything but a professional shooter. but I've shot everything you can just basically put your arms on, or your hands on, or put it to your shoulder. And if I shoot at you, I'm going to hit you. So either he was totally incompetent, not capable of doing what his mouth said, or there was the good Lord was taking care of everybody.
Do you think Lori Vallow will take the stand?
I really don't know. And I'm going to put this question in the perspective of other trials we have seen. The last thing the defense wants is the defendant on the stand in a trial. That's all I can say.
Lastly, this is truly it. She's got her own trial, no co-defendant with her. These are the charges against her: first-degree murder, murder conspiracy, grand theft. She is going to face all the evidence, all the testimony against her. This is her judgment day. She has to face this. How does that make you feel that this is really finally happening?
It's time. It's truly time. And I think Lori has finally backed herself into a corner. And this is her choices in life that she's been making her entire life. It's the choices her family has made their entire life. Now the consequences are here. I've always told my children, my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren, my friends, life is pretty simple. It's a choice and a consequence. If you're a normal person, life is pretty simple. You make good choices, you have good consequences. And I truly believe that at this point, the choices that Lori has made for decades are coming to roost.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, my man.
I appreciate
Always.
you.